I got a new toy. I've been doing some nature journaling recently and I wanted to put together a tiny little palette that incorporated both watercolour and gouache, because I'm using a grey toned paper at the moment and it just pops off. It looks really good. So this arrived today. I haven't pulled it out yet, so I thought I would have you along with me to unbox it or unbag it. It comes in this little calico bag. It's called the Folio palette, and it's from a mob called the Art Toolkit. I've got one of their smaller business card size kits for my handbag emergency drawing palette, but this one is just a slight bit bigger. Let me get it out of here so that I can fit all sorts of colours for both watercolours and, oops, there we go. So this is what it looks like. It looks like an oversized credit card holder or business card holder, and it's got a mixing palette there, and then it's got, oh, here we go, welcome to your new Folio palette. So it comes with all these different inserts, and you can pull them out. They're magnetic. There's a magnetic tray on the bottom and you can pop those in. These two are also for mixing, and then there's 12 of the teeny weenies, 6 of the longer ones and 3 of the big ones. And the configuration that I want, I need to have approximately 14 of each watercolour and gouache. So I bought some extra little doovers, and so I will have a bit of a play and figure out the configuration. Alrighty, so I've had a bit of a play around and configured it to how I think I want to use it. I'm going to leave that one out for the moment because I've got a nice big mixing surface there and a little bit of a mixing surface there, but I'll have 14 gouache paints across the top with larger ones for colours that I use a lot. I'll have a white because I use it for mixing quite a lot, and probably the sky blue I think I'll use a lot more than the other colours. So, and then my usual selection of watercolours there. So I'm going to drag out my colours, show you what I'm going to put in, and then I'm going to start to fill it up. Okie dokie, I have pulled out all of the paints that I'm going to use to fill my little palette with. Gouache on this side and the watercolour on this side. I've basically, for the gouache colours, I've taken John Muir Law's Fields palette as is and just using those colours while I get used to using gouache as a medium, particularly for nature journaling. And this is a mix of his recommendations plus my usual colours that I carry with me everywhere to sketch on location. So let's go quick run through the colours and then we'll get to the filling part. Titanium white, gamboge, Hansa yellow, jaune brillant, titanium gold ochre, leaf green, helio green, aqua blue, yellow ochre, primary magenta, quinacridone violet, which is going to get mixed with white to make a nice pale purpley sort of colour, pyrrole red, and 2 different greys. And over on the watercolours we've got neutral tint. It's almost empty, I'm going to have to go shopping. That's a terrible shame. Moonglow, Van Dyke brown, transparent red oxide, buff titanium, which is also almost done, Perylene green, green apatite genuine, which is a really nice grungy, greeny, browny, granulating colour that's really, really good for, what do you call it, stuff, foliage, that's the one. Phthalo blue, indigo, Carbazole violet, opera pink, which is, I should have enough there to fill one I think, Queen Rose, Pyrrole Red, Orange, which is also almost finished, and a Lemon Yellow. Okay, let's move this over to a space where I can leave this set up. I want to do some other painting tonight, so I need this desk, and I need to be able to leave these out to dry without getting mucky or where the cats can get at it. So let's move on over. Alright, let the fun commence. I've pulled out the little pans out of the palette, and we're going to start with the white one. We'll start with the gouache colours. I've got some toothpicks here to get it into the corners. Don't fret, I'm not going to make you watch all of this, but just in case you're interested. Just pop it down into the corners, make sure there's no... We're back again. I just started filling that one up, and my phone decided its storage was full, so we shall try again. So we're on the gouache, I'm doing the two big ones. I'm not going to fill them all on camera because that would be incredibly boring. Give it a little squish down into the corners. Now this gouache will probably shrink quite a bit as it dries out, but that's okay, we can always just refill it later. Alright, I'm going to do one more. Let's try one of these teeny weeny little pans, and then I'll let you get on with your day and I'll do this. And then I'll come back once they're all full. Oh, it's a bit tricky, isn't it? Teeny tiny. This always gets mucky. And with paint absolutely everywhere. Alrighty. So that's that. I'm going to fill all these up and then I'll be back later. Well, that was a mucky mess. I have discovered that my buff titanium has dried out, so that's going to have to wait. I'm going to have to go to the shops. My neutral tint didn't quite make it either. And the transparent orange is, there's a blob there, I can probably use it, but I need to get another one of those. So, now we wait. What we're going to do is let that all dry until they're hard in the pan, and then I can put them all back into the palette. So let's wait and wait. I won't make you watch paint drying because that'd be really boring. So I'll see you in a couple of days. It is... let's see, 5 days later, I managed to go and get most of the paints that I was missing, and I finished filling and popped them into the palette, and this is what it looks like. It's quite pretty. The one I couldn't get hold of at the moment is the buff titanium, because my local shop was doing their stock takes, so they hadn't ordered any. I can fill that up in a couple of weeks, that's fine. These have all hardened out. I've got a couple of cracks in the gouache, but that's normal behaviour for those. So I'm quite pleased with those, and I'm really hanging out to give it a road test. But what I've done in the meantime is I've done some swatches. So let me show you those. And then I will show you the kit that I plan to take out. I have been using for some urban sketching, but I'll show you how I'm going to pack it up for nature journaling. It's nice and light and easy to carry. So here is my, let's make sure we get that in the picture. Here's my swatching. I used a rubber stamp that I carved myself. It's a little bit chunky, so I think I'll probably carve some off the edges for my little swatchy swatches. I also forgot that this ink wasn't fabulously waterproof, so I've got a little bit of bleed, especially on the yellows, and the quinacridone rose sort of made it activate a bit as well. The gouache didn't as badly, which is nice. A little bit here on the aqua blue and a little bit on the opera pink, but I am pleased with the way all of that has turned out. So this is the little book that I'm using at the moment for nature journaling. It is a Stillman and Birn Nova series with grey toned paper. Yeah, so it's got nature journaling. I've got another little stamp that I carved to capture my date and location and some of the metadata that goes along with nature journaling. When I'm in the field anyway, I won't use it when I'm painting in studio. And these are some of the ones that I've done already just with the kit that I had set up before, which was kind of clunky. Mostly the same colours, but a little bit heavier than I would have liked to go through. So that's that one. Oh, this is a page that I started to capture the ornamental pear tree in the backyard. She puts on quite a show by the time all of her leaves have turned yellow, so we'll get to that point. At the moment she's got one yellow leaf, and then she had a couple of yellow leaves that I was getting ready to paint, but we had a big windstorm the other day, so the tree's looking a bit raggedy and there aren't too many yellow ones left on, so I shall capture those in the coming weeks. Before we dive into the kit that I take, I wanted to show you the other one of these. This is the folio sized art toolkit one, and this is the teeny weeny little business card sized one that has watercolors in it that I use in a tiny kit that I put together that comes around in my handbag with me all the time. So I carry that, a pen, a water brush, and a little sketchbook. See if I'm stuck in a line or something, I can whip off a quick sketch while I'm waiting. Alright, so what I plan to carry them in is this fancy little crossbody number. It is called the Walk It Kit. Oops, I've got something in there from last time. Aha, it's an acorn. One of my treasures that can go in my little treasure tray. Now this can go over your shoulder and head and crossbody, or you can tighten it up a bit and hang it around your waist if you want it to hang just a little bit lower or off to the side or something. So my sketchbook fits nicely in there. Or most often, once I'm going, if we're on a hike or something, I'll carry it beside me and let the paint dry while I walk. And the paint palette will go in there. The other thing that I like to carry is something to blot my water brushes on. This is just an old sock that I've cut the foot off, and I roll it up and it sits on my wrist like that, so that gets tucked in to the side, and that way I don't have to juggle trying to hold a paper towel or something like that. Then I've got a couple of water brushes. One's a finer nibbed one and one's a wider sort of one for bigger washes. I carry two pencils. One's got the pale blue lead and the other's just a regular lead. I'll probably switch that out for a mechanical pencil at some point so that I don't have to worry about sharpening. I have a little ruler. I'll probably switch that out for a retractable measuring tape. It'll be a bit more flexible, I think. Then I have my pens and a little water sprayer. So this is to activate the paint. So while I'm sketching, before I start sketching actually, I'll open up the palette and give it a bit of a squirt, and that just gets the paints ready so that I don't have to scrub my brushes in the paint to get it moving, so it makes things a little bit quicker. And then just two pens, a white Jelly Roll pen and a Uniball fine one. I'm finding that I'm liking finer lines better in my nature journaling. So those get popped in there. If I really want to, I could pop them in the elastic loops that are in there, and there are also some elastic loops inside the main body as well. So that's nice and light, compact, and ready to go. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.